So when we talk about the kind of relationships that we're encouraging here, we need to make some differentiation, because a lot of guys have other guys in their life, guys who are their friends, other men they hang out with, who know them pretty well, and that's always a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're talking about something more than that. We're talking about kind of a deeper relationship. And one of the best illustrations I can think of, as far as that's concerned, comes from the movie Forrest Gump. Heading into basic training, Forrest meets Bubba.
Sit down if you want to. My given name is Benjamin Buford Blue. People call me Bubba. Just like one of them old redneck boys. Can you believe that?
My name's Forrest Gump. People call me Forrest Gump.
And Bubba becomes his best good friend. And the two of them go through basic training together. They're sent to Vietnam together. They serve together. They go through the day-to-day life of being in the Army together. And so Bubba is somebody who Forrest can lean on. They've got each other's backs. They're good friends. And guys have friends like that. We all have relationships like that. But what we're talking about here is not so much a Bubba as a Lieutenant Dan. When Forrest first meets Lieutenant Dan, it's when they first arrive at Vietnam, and Lieutenant Dan is their CO, their commanding officer. And he has been in country for a while. He serves as kind of a mentor. He tells them what they need to do to take care of themselves, what they need to do to stay alive.
Socks. Cushion sole, OD green. Try and keep your feet dry. When we're out humping, I want you boys to remember to change your socks whenever we stop.
He starts out kind of as a mentor figure for Forrest.
2 standing orders in this platoon. 1, take good care of your feet. 2, try not to do anything stupid, like getting yourself killed.
I sure hope I don't let him down.
But after the platoon is attacked and most of the company falls, Forrest winds up saving Lieutenant Dan's life, although not before he's injured badly enough that he winds up losing his legs. And after he's suffered this loss, he doesn't know how to cope. He slips into a deep depression. He goes through a period where he just cannot handle this situation that's been placed on him.
What am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do now?
And at first he resents Forrest for saving his life. He feels like Forrest interrupted his destiny, kept him from doing the thing that he was supposed to do, which is to die in battle.
I should have died out there with my men, but now I'm nothing but a legless freak. Look at me.
And because he can't cope with this situation, at first he takes it out on Forrest, and there's a lot of anger and a lot of resentment there.
They gave you, an imbecile, a moron who goes on television and makes a fool out of himself in front of the whole damn country, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's just perfect.
And as time passes, what's interesting is that you see Dan, in spite of his anger, in spite of his resentment, he gravitates more and more to Forrest. He spends more time with him. He finds him and tracks him down when they've been apart for a while, and they spend time together. And he finds himself coming back to this guy who will listen to him, who doesn't judge him, who doesn't demand anything from him, who just wants to be there for him. And those are the kinds of relationships that we're talking about here. Those are the kinds of guys that we need to have in our lives. We need to have somebody who will be with us in the good times, somebody who will be with us when things aren't so good, when we feel pretty empty. We need someone who we can share our hearts with, who we can talk deep spiritual business with.
Have you found Jesus yet, Gump?
I didn't know I was supposed to be looking for him, sir.
We need to have somebody who can relate to what we're going through. and who has been where we've been.
Do you know what it's like not to be able to use your legs?
Well, yes, sir, I do.
We need somebody with whom we can be absolutely authentic, that we can share our deepest feelings, our anger, even if it's anger toward God.
Now, if I accept Jesus into my heart, I'll get to walk beside him in the kingdom of heaven. Did you hear what I said? Walk beside him in the kingdom of heaven. Well, kiss my crippled ass. God is listening.
We need somebody who can be so real with us that they'll tell us anything, even if it's blunt, even if it's politically incorrect.
Thought I'd try out my sea legs.
Well, you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dane.
Yes, I know that.
We need somebody who will be a man of his word.
Well, here I am. I am a man of my word.
Okay.
We always need somebody who will be patient with our mistakes.
It's my boat.
And as time goes by and the two of them spend more and more time together, eventually Dan's ability to just let it all out with Forrest leads to him finding peace, leads to him finding a calm in his life that he didn't have before. And that leads to forgiveness and repentance and a sort of understanding reconciliation between the two of them.
Forrest. I never thanked you for saving my life.
My favorite moment in the film comes out of this relationship that they share. And after all the time they've spent together, and Forrest has helped Dan get back on his feet, literally.
Lieutenant Dane.
Toward the end of the movie, Forrest is getting married, and Dan shows up at his wedding. And they haven't seen each other for a while.
Lieutenant Dane.
Hello, Forrest.
You got new legs. New legs.
Yeah, I got new legs.
There comes a moment when the two of them just sort of regard each other, and they look at each other. And everything that they've been through together, the war, the pain, the heartache, the struggles, the joys, the victories, the storms in life, everything that they've encountered is there between them. And because they have all of that, they don't say a word. They don't have to say a word. Everything that they needed to say has already been said. What we're wanting to see out of this is for guys to establish those kinds of relationships with each other and actually be able to reach a point in their lives when they've shared so much together that they can understand each other on that kind of level, that they can speak to each other without speaking to each other, because there's that understanding and that depth and that level of relationship that they've had with each other, because ultimately that reflects Christ in each of us, and it brings all of us who have that kind of relationship with other men closer to God in the end.
He never actually said so, but I think he made his peace with God.